Dawn DeWolf. I'm the Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Kelly, the Vice President of College Services. Thank you all for being here, and we're going to have a good afternoon talking about our new core themes.
And this really is meant to be interactive, so at some point, those of you that are only 3 or so to a table, we may ask that you combine, because as we get into this, our intent is actually to go through each core theme and really have all of you kind of become really familiar with them. The goal of today is to increase your familiarity and understanding of what our 4 core themes are, and then have you generate ideas about how work can and will connect to the core themes at your level, whatever job you're doing, as well as perhaps your program and department levels. So that's the outcome, basic familiarity, and really start connecting with them. I'm going to spend a few minutes just kind of setting a context and give you some history, and then Brian's going to step into the first core theme and we'll get you to work. Do you have anything else you want to say? No. Okay. And we do very much appreciate you being here. This is important work. We're going to be repeating this same session, and if you have suggestions for improvement, please feel free to let us know. The same session, December 4th, to try to get the core themes out there to more people. In addition to that, over winter term, we're going to go even deeper into the core themes because we're going to start attaching it to our strategic planning initiatives. So more to come, but this really is meant to be at a very high level. So let me kind of take us back historically. So the core themes, some of this is a repeat for all of you, but for those of you that are new to this, it's important to kind of give you a context. Core themes will guide our work over the next several years. That's really important for you to remember. They are required by our accrediting body, the Northwest Commission on Colleges and University, and they flow from our mission and define and verify how we are fulfilling our mission. Now let me say that again because that's really important. They flow from our mission and they define the parameters of how well we fulfill our mission. So we actually, the commission incorporated these core theme standards about 5 years ago, as I remember right, 2010. And Lane adopted 4 previously that we used in our 7-year evaluation. And can you remember what they are? And those that do get a star. Craig, what were they?
They came off the former mission statement, just those 4 long-standing bullets: transfer, protect, foundational skills.
Yeah, those were our former core themes. Let's do it again. So, academic transfer, workforce, foundational skills, and lifelong learning. Those were the 4. What we found, those of us that worked with those core themes, is yes, they very clearly articulated our populations we served, but they weren't a full expression of our depth and breadth of the service of the programs and services that we offer, and therefore weren't as meaningful to help us really assess how we are doing with our mission. So we submitted that report, our 7-year report, and as you remember, we received some recommendations and some commendations from the accreditation team that was with us. We realized in that process, in our self-study process, that we really wanted to change our core themes. So the Institutional Effectiveness Committee was formed, and they spent about 6 months working very hard on our current core themes. And you'll find the core themes on your table, and they are responsive community engagement, accessible and equitable learning opportunities, quality educational environment, and individual student achievement. The, the committee worked really, really hard to get to these four, and feel very good about them because I do think that they are much more meaningful to us and to our mission. The important thing, and I'm going to walk over here. I guess I have to use this thing. Let me help you understand how the core themes are structured and how they attach to the mission. And this is really important because we've gotten some questions about, well, why not this as a core theme? Don't we really believe in sustainability? Isn't that a core theme? Yes, it's very important to us. However, in the construct that the Commission is looking for, things like sustainability will remain in our core values. And that's perfect. That's where it needs to be. For core themes, we have a mission. And I don't know if everybody can see this, but we have a mission. What is the mission? What is the mission of Lane Community College? Another star, if you can remember it. That's the vision. That's it. Go for it, Lyda.
Accessible, quality, learning, education.
That's right. Lane is the community's college. We provide comprehensive, accessible, quality, learning-centered educational opportunities that promote student success. Our vision, Karen said, is Lane's vision is transforming lives through vision, and our vision is obviously the overriding principle that guides our organization. That's what guides our organization. The mission tells the public what we will do. What is our goal? Why are we unique? That's our mission. We are the community's college. We provide comprehensive, accessible, quality, learning-centered educational opportunities that promote student success. So from our mission will flow the core themes, the four. Core theme, core theme, core theme, and core theme. And then each core theme then is structured where there are objectives and measurements, indicators. They're called indicators. And you'll see them on your table. So the objectives and the indicators for each core theme. The indicators provide the verifiable evidence, for lack of a better word, that says we've met our objective, therefore our core theme. Each core theme is unique, but collectively, the full collectively encompass and define our mission. So that's the way the standard is written. Individual core themes that collectively demonstrate that we're fulfilling our mission. Questions on that?
Are all the indicators unique?
The indicators are unique, and that's a great question. Thank you. The indicators are not meant to measure everything that we do, but rather the indicators are meant to help us identify, is this objective and core thing meaningful, and if not, how can we improve it? Not to the extent of exactly pinpointing what needs to be improved, but it's kind of what we've been calling in the Institutional Effectiveness Committee as the canary in the coal mine, or the spotted owl, or whatever. It says this is a problem or not. And it's one of perhaps many indicators, and what you have on your table is our most current thinking of indicators. The indicators could potentially change as we work with these more. But this is where we are right now. So the other piece that's important to set context is Strategic plan. So how does this align with strategic planning? We may find that one of our core themes, objectives, and indicators say, boy, we're not doing very well. So we would be able to dig deeper and look at perhaps a strategic plan around that indicator. But a strategic plan is much more than just that. A strategic plan will be bigger than that because it will also say, and this is where you need to go in the future. So we will begin that strategic planning process this year, and we'll have a strategic plan maybe by the end of spring is kind of what we're looking at. So that's why this work is really important, because these core themes are going to guide some of that work around strategic planning. The only other piece I want to mention is that student achievement or student success usually, not always, but usually is one of the core themes. And you'll see that our mission talks about student success, and we have a core theme that is very tightly tied to student success, which is perfect. So we will be measuring student success, and that's where educational assessment will come in, because that is still part of what we need to be evaluating, is how well do our students do, how well do they succeed. So with that, I just want to check one more time if there's any questions or need any more clarity around core themes and the way they're constructed. Okay, then I'm going to turn it over to Brian. Yes. Beth. These are core themes, and the core values aren't really part of this construct at this time. What we're going to be doing is mapping our core themes to our current strategic directions and look at if in our strategic planning if any of that is going to change. We don't think it will, because I think it all kind of aligns right now, but we'll be doing some mapping around that work. Good question. Thanks, Beth. Okay, I'm going to pass this over to Brian.
I know that Aspiring Leaders was canceled today, and many of you are here from that group. Can you raise your hand if you're here from that group? Thank you. I appreciate you coming today and being able to be here, and I think this will be a good use of your time. An excellent program, and for those of you who haven't been part of the Aspiring Leaders program, I'd like to highly recommend.
Richie, you're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping.
I'd like to recommend that program. We're going to look at a little video here, and the video is about, it's based on a book, and it's a book without words, and if you have young children like I do, there's kind of a lot of these going around, and this one's particularly intriguing. It has a lot of imagery and tells a little story, and bear with me while we watch this. It's going to be about 5 or 6 minutes, and you're going to go, how is he going to bring this back to core themes? And then you'll be amazed.
This is your first lesson in training.
dreaming?
You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson.
So what does that have to do with us talking about core themes? Anyone want to guess? Darren, was that a stretch or a hand?
Hi, you're here with Mom Fab Fun, and earlier this week we featured
It's
the book The
about
Zoom
constantly
by
taking
Istvan
a
Banya.
wider and more
Please
global
don't,
view,
punish me for mispronouncing
possibly
that if
from
I
a
did,
starting point where we're so
but
focused on the real specifics and the details of what we do in a day, but really stretching it out.
So I think the difference between or zooming can be both in and zooming can be out. And that's the piece you have to remember. And the fascinating piece about doing these core themes is we're relating these 4 core themes to holding up our mission. And what's our mission? Lane is the, you know this one. Okay. And our vision, transforming lives through learning. These 4 core themes have to support that mission, which in turn supports that vision. And the zoom out is, or zoom in as you may phrase it, is relating that to the mission and the vision. The zooming in is really, what does this mean to you, and what does this mean to your department in your area and your role at Lane Community College, your role in the community. So hopefully today, by examining these core themes a little closer, we'll have the opportunity to zoom in and really think of how does this affect the science division, the math division, the budget department, the facilities department. How are these core themes related to the work I do? And how can I relate this to my team? How can I bring this message back? So the real zoom in on these and think, boy, how is this going to relate to my everyday work? The first core theme that I want to talk about today is a great one, and one that we thought was really missing from the first time we put together core themes. When we dove into our assessment work and we started to look at the 4 core themes that these core themes will replace, something that came across over and over again in the community, in my conversations at the department level, and my conversations in the governance councils was, we're really missing a theme that captures what we do for the community. And I'm very pleased to announce that a core theme coming through is responsive community engagement. And what does that mean? Well, we are the community's college. It's right in our mission statement. It's our middle name is community. And it's exciting to see that be leading off our new set of core themes. There are 2 objectives within this core theme, and one is the first objective, and I'm going to start referring to these handouts that should be at all the tables. As an engaged member of our community, Lane's programs, services, and activities serve the community's needs. I also really want to talk about current mission statement and new core themes. And talk about the relationship between the new core theme and the objectives that we're going to talk about. We won't hit a lot on indicators today, but I do really want to talk about identifying these pieces to your department where you're at the college. So Lane offers comprehensive programs that support individual and community needs is objective number 1. And objective number 2 is Lane serves the intellectual and social needs of the community through non-academic programs and services. Big nets, capturing a lot of what we're already doing. Dawn alluded earlier to the fact that even though we are listing some indicators of achievement and looking at these objectives, there would be a lot of objectives or a lot of indicators within those objectives that we could use to measure. And we have to see if this is actually going to work for us to tell our story and how we're going to tell that story. So today, we're going to take time and we're going to spend time with each of the 4 core themes. And the first core theme we'll spend time with is responsive community engagement. And this is how we see this coming about. Is there a slide with all 4 of?
Go down to the end. Oh, no. Go down to the end. Keep going.
Yay. So we're going to talk about responsive community engagement first. And what I'd like us to do at our tables, and we might want, the tables are looking pretty good. Maybe size of participants at the table. You know, yeah. Sarah's table is looking excellent, I might mention. It is Friday. So we're going to look at this, and we'll take each core theme, and what I want you to do is answer the following questions within your group. When you read the words in the handout for this core theme, what does this mean to you? If the college was really doing this well, what would this look like? In what ways does your individual work connect with this core theme? So think about really zooming in. Put the video in your mind and think about really zooming in to how this core theme connects to your work. And when you think of the work of your department or your area of service, how does this connect to the core theme? And you know, a question when I see if the college were really doing this well, what would it look like? If we've really landed, if the work that the Institutional Effectiveness Committee has done, if we've really landed 4 solid core themes, if we've done that really, really well, you should all have answers to all of these questions. You should all know how this relates to your individual work and how this relates to the work of your department. So let's take a little time, work on these questions, and we'll regroup in about 20 or 25 minutes, and we'll do a quick little report out exercise.
Let's move into the reflection, which is take a few minutes. Where am I here? Take a few minutes to and write a phrase or word that describes what seems most important about the conversation you just listened to at your table. Is there something that surprised you? Maybe something you learned, maybe a common theme? Write it on the sticky note and we'll post it. And then the next, we'll move into the next core theme. So let's take about 5 minutes and then we'll move on. Thank you. So if you're still writing, I'll give you just another few seconds, or please feel free to go ahead and finish up and put up your sticky. And just to kind of give a little flavor of what's up here, human access has to stay as an option with technology. Good customer service. Open educational resources, absolutely about access and understand equitable broadly. We need to consider the overall demographics of faculty and staff as well as that of students. Great comments. This is a very important theme, and there'll be much more conversation about this. Before I pass it on to Brian, I understand that from our math dean that today is 11, 13, 15, and this won't happen again, Kathy.
In this century. This is the last time this century that is consecutive odd numbers for the date. This is the last date this century that it's consecutive odd numbers for the date.
Did you know that? Wow.
This one seems trickier than Pi Day to actually attach. Oh, very good. All right, so we're going to move on to core theme number 3, quality educational environment. And I think what's a little different about this core theme, you might notice if you've been digging into this, is we have 3 objectives and a few indicators under each of those objectives. Lane's quality educational environment embraces academic, institutional integrity, relevance, rigor, innovation, and transparency. That is a wonderfully aspirational goal and bit of language. Lane employs high impact practices. Lane faculty and staff regularly engage in professional development. Lane's curricula are designed with intention to support discipline level, program level, and college level outcomes. We're going to do very much the same thing we've done with our other core themes, and I think we need to make you switch tables again. So please switch and answer the questions. What do these words mean to you? If the college was doing this well, what would it look like? And how this relates to you individually and at the department level. Reflections for quality educational environment. In multiple spots, what are high impact practices and what does that mean? Who can tell me some? Capstone projects, community learning. Who knows some other ones? Learning communities, undergraduate research, first year seminar, writing intensive coursework. Excellent. So there are a bunch of them, and some of us know about them, but how widespread is that knowledge? You know, in terms of we want students to know about them, that's a good point. We probably need to make sure everybody knows about them. Other comments, many opportunities for strategic initiatives, extensive professional development opportunities, multiple exposures to these. Again, do we have a common understanding of what high impact practices are? A center for teaching and learning, transparency in our student business process, and robust involvement in community and professional development. So it looks like the recurring themes here are knowledge of what high impact practices are and really having a robust professional development establishment.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I think we're gonna make this. I think we're gonna get you out here early. Our last core theme, individual student achievement. Lane students advance on their academic path and reach their educational goals. 2 objectives, students progress toward their educational objectives, and students complete their educational goals. So by now we know the drill, which means we're going to just go ahead and have this conversation at the table. And yes, let's change one more time, please. And then we'll take, we'll finish about 10 after 3 with your reflections. 10 after 3 with your reflections, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, thank you. I think we've got most of them. If you've got a few more, somebody, oh, we've got one more, okay. But here's kind of the general, some of the comments that are made. Good focus on student educational goals. If we were doing this well, their goals would be identified, updated, and tracked, and used to help students move along educational path. Focus on student needs to help them achieve academic success. Appointments available for counseling, advising, clarify. This core theme 4 includes credit, non-credit, systems issues and opportunities. Sometimes some students need more unofficial types of advising in order to make sense of the world of LCC. Academic achievement is important, but the goal of lifelong learning is much broader. Great comments, great comments. So, thank you all. Really glad you were here. Thought this was really engaging, and I'm really energized actually after a really long week. So it was wonderful to have these conversations. I just want to point out something. As we were working with Carol Shaftsma, who actually some of you may remember, helped us kind of shape the day a little bit. She reflected, she said, you know what I really like about your core themes is that there's a progression. So think about it. Core theme 1, responsive community engagement. accessible and equitable learning opportunities, quality educational environment, and individual student achievement. It's really kind of the cycle for our students, isn't it? We respond to the community, we make our environment accessible. They have a quality experience while they're here and have individual student achievements. So that's our vision, that's our goal, those are our core themes, and if we're doing it well, a student can see that really clearly, I think, and can achieve through all that. I just want to thank you again. I'll pass this over to Brian. If you have any suggestions on improving this for the next group, please feel free to let us know. We knew that it would be a little redundant, but I think hopefully you've seen how the core themes individually manifest and collectively encompass our entire mission. Hopefully you can see, having walked through each of them, that I know in some of the tables I was at, well, where's this, where's that? Oh, that's on the next core theme. So we knew that would kind of happen, but that's the goal of our core themes, is to individually manifest and collectively encompass our mission. And I hope you've seen that today. So thank you. I'm going to pass this over to Brian.
So some next steps. What do we do next after we've spent an afternoon engaged in our core themes? So I would encourage you to have these conversations in your departments with your colleagues. I think it's time we start moving these core themes out and really having conversations at the department level. What's important is these core themes will work if we can all find a way to identify with these. If we're not identifying with these core themes, they're writing on a wall. But if we can find a way at the department level, at the individual level, to build these into who we are at Lane, they'll be much more effective for us. The next piece is we will also start working on populating the core theme indicators, and we'll have a series of conversations in winter term to explore this. We'll continue our work with the Institutional Effectiveness Committee, and that's going to form the basis of the next big conversation that's coming up, which is going to be strategic directions. And if you just envisioned strategic directions kind of feeding into our core themes and supporting our mission, that gives you a better idea of where we're going. We have a vision and mission. We've done significant amount of work on our core themes, and they're starting to get refined and looking better every day. We start to have these conversations, and then our next piece is to map these core themes to our strategic directions. That's the work we'll start in winter term, and I'd like to open the floor up for any closing comments about today, suggestions, ideas, something you never thought about before. Anyone have anything they want to share?
I just wanted to know what you're going to do with our, what's your plan with our comments? What are you going to do with them?
So all of these comments will be compiled. They'll be available on the website. We'll share this with the other group, and we'll be able to share this at the department level to help with the conversation. And this will these comments will also filter into the indicator conversations. We have we have a people joining us, so I'm going to make sure you have that.
Oh, I just wanted to know if you're going to make a new Zoom video with our comments.
Now, the Zoom video is not created in-house, but with the comments, I like that. That's intriguing. I'm going to. There's a definite maybe to that.
So when you're saying that the work on the indicators, what does that mean? Does that mean changing the ones you have, or I don't know what?
Here's my opinion, and I'm just one of the members on the Institutional Effectiveness Committee. I think what we'll do is we'll take the comments back to the Institutional Effectiveness Committee and get more input. In my mind, the indicators have the potential of changing several times over the next year or two. So you probably aren't looking at the last draft, let me just put it that way. But the Institutional Effectiveness Committee, who's on that committee in the room? Yep, see, good representation here. We'll take these comments and conversations back to the committee for consideration, because I think there have been some really good ones that I think it's worth considering.
I just want to say that these new core themes are much more aspirational and meaningful to me, and I think they're much more reflective of who we are and our true mission. So I look forward to working with them in the future.
It is nice to be excited about these, which might not have been the same result from the first round.
I guess an insight for me was what Don just said about how this is kind of the circle of life. So you engage the community, and then they come, and then you give them a good experience, and then they complete, and then they stay engaged with you, and they bring in more people. So that was a great insight, and that'll help me, I think, as I think about these.
Oh, Sarah.
I too like these very, very much, so that's really great. And I think they make a stab at taking away some of the silos, the historical silos across the various functions, so that we can see how the complementarity of the community education programs, the academic transfer programs, you know, where do these various courses fit across there. And so I think that's a really good direction, to see us as a whole and not a bunch of slivers.
So I do want to recognize the work that the Institutional Effectiveness Committee has done in developing these. This group worked over the summer, long 4 or 5 hour meetings through winter and spring term, and some very excellent work done out of that group. So thank you again for anyone who's a member of that. And thanks to all of you. I know you have a lot of choices in what to do with your time on a Friday afternoon, and I'm glad you chose to spend them with us. Thank you.